75% of you are on free hit, but for some, wildcard might be the play. In today's show, we're going to compare both wildcard and free hit teams. Welcome back to another episode. Hope you guys are good and you've enjoyed Gameweek 33. We've got blank Gameweek 34 now to look forward to, and we've got some big teams not playing, which is why so many have been forced into the free hit. Personally, I'm on wildcard. It's been my strategy since forever. So in today's show, I'm going to show you what my wildcard team is. We're also going to talk captaincy. It's a big one this week. We're going to look at the planning ahead and future single and double game weeks. And of course, I'm going to show you that free hit template that I've made as well. So stay tuned for more. Do not go anywhere. And if you fancy supporting the channel by liking and subscribing, please do. Also, if you've got a comment or question, comment below and I'll get back to every single one of you today as well. So let's have a look at the Ben Crellin fixture ticker just for a state of play. We know the 4 teams not playing this week, the 4 big ones, which is why so many are free hitting. There's no Villa, no City, no Man City and no Arsenal. We do know there's likely to be a double game week in 36, but the bookies odds and from the predicted outcomes and the fact that Premier League can pretty much, the long and short of it is, the FA Cup final is in Game Week 37 this year. So whatever teams win their FA Cup semis, let's say Man City beat Forest and Villa beat Palace, those teams should double in 36. There is a good chance they double in 36, which means they blank in 37. But, for example, the Man City double game week, which they'll have to have if they get to the final, could be moved into 37 still. It could just be the midweek before the FA Cup final or after the FA Cup final. Let's see. I personally think we'll see doubles in 36 for the winning teams, and that's why on my wildcard I'm backing some players I expect to get double game weeks. More on that in a second. So look, let's have a look at my team, shall we? Let's start building it. And in terms of my team, by the way, I'm recording this before Arsenal play Crystal Palace, and I've got 5 players to play. At the moment I'm on a red arrow at 600k, that could be 400k tonight, let's see. It's been a terrible season for me, but I hope my wildcard and a differential chip strategy can put me in good stead. I've still got a bench boost and I've still got wildcard. I've still got 2 chips, whilst most managers have maybe got 1 or no chips left. So let's see where I'm at with this wildcard team, and I've got to think differently, guys. So as we build the team, we're going to start to look at the must-have players, I guess, right? So straight away, for me, I want to talk about Man City because they are a keynote in this wildcard. And you might be saying, Gianni, they don't play in 34. And that's right. My bench this week is going to be full of players that don't play in 34. In fact, I'll have 4 players that don't play in 34 on my bench, and that includes Triple City, Marmoush, Gvardiol and Kevin De Bruyne. So I know I want these 3 City players knowing the fixtures they've got coming up, because I'm backing the fact they double in 36, which is when I bench boost. They've got Wolves in 35, which, by the way, in 35, that's the game week deadline. It's a Friday night game between Man City Wolves. We'll probably get team leaks. Double in 36, Southampton Bournemouth is juicy. Yes, they don't play in 37, but then I've got them for the final day if I need them in 38, and I could always sell one of them in 37. So Marmoush, De Bruyne and Gvardiol, I don't think you need me to sell those 3 assets to you. They're the standout Man City assets. De Bruyne's just started both games of the double game week. Didn't produce the goods, sure, but looked pretty good. Marmoush goals are surely coming, and Gvardiol is the pick of the defenders. If you're looking at a City triple up, it's these 3. I would have liked to have gone to a goalkeeper, but we don't know between Ederson and Ortega. With the injury there for Ederson, the goalkeeper would have been nice, because then I could have maybe gone for like a Rodgers on the bench. And I have to mention Rodgers because he, of course, these are the only 3 outfield players I have that are not playing in 34, which means no Crystal Palace, no Arsenal and no Villa players in my outfield. That's a bit of a shocker for me. I want Rodgers, but I might just have to buy him and suck up the loss on team value. Or maybe it'll be Rashford. And with this team, I'm going to leave enough money in the bank to make a 35 or 36 transfer to an Aston Villa player. Okay, that could be Rashford or it could be Rodgers. So we've got the Triple City. Let's now have a look at Triple Wolves, shall we? Yeah. Quite like Wolves. I like Wolves for the fixtures first and foremost. When we look at Wolves, we know they've got Leicester. It's the standout matchup for 34. But then Man City in 35 is fine because I'd be benching all of them, and that would be my bench in 35. But then 36, it's Brighton. 37, Crystal Palace. Not bad fixtures. On the final day, it's Brentford at home. Now, when we look at the Wolves' average position map, look at Ray and 8 Nori here. So high. so high. Most progressive passing received as well. Semedo is also a really good option on the right. He's the club captain. Now, Ryan Aït-Nouri does see some early subs. Semedo doesn't. If you're picking between the two, there's little in it. Aït-Nouri does have the goal threat though. A little bit higher goal threat, a little bit more advanced. So I like Wolves. They're keeping clean sheets under the new manager as well. And I fancy a clean sheet versus Leicester. So double Wolves defence with Aït-Nouri, with Semedo, and then up front, the world and their dog are going to have Cunha. Now let me just give one small word of warning on Cunha, because I don't have him in this draft. Cunha's Wolves' best player. If I was on free hit, I'd probably punt Cunha in. But season long, I'm not so sure, knowing he's moving on this summer. Probably going to Man United. And because of that, the manager hasn't actually been playing him much. So he only started last time out because Bellegarde got injured. The front three, I think the Wolves manager wants to know his front three are for next season. He doesn't need to be playing Cunha every minute of every game. There's nothing to play for Wolves. So I'm not 100% convinced he starts at the weekend. I think he probably does, and if I'm on free hit, I gamble. But for the season running, I think he misses loads of games. And therefore, for me on Wildcard, Strand Larsen is probably the better pick. Look, I expect Cunha could outperform Strand Larsen at the weekend. Maybe I get lucky and Strand Larsen steps up with the goals. But Strand Larsen's the number 9. He plays most of the minutes. He starts every game, and he will start in the running. Good Norwegian striker, Strand Larsen. I really rate him. So at the moment, that's my Wolves triple up. Didn't think I'd be here saying Strand Larsen's in my wildcard team, but there we go. It's all about the entry point, and it works for me and my team. Right, we've still got to get through loads on this team. We've done a Man City triple up, we've done a Wolves triple up, we've got to do the Newcastle triple up, because Newcastle play Ipswich. They are chasing Champions League football. That matters. That really matters. We've got to build into the narrative of certain teams and what they're playing for this season, and Newcastle, so much to play for. So Isak we don't need to discuss. He should be in everyone's free hit team, everyone's wildcard team, everyone's actual team. Jacob Murphy I want. Jacob Murphy is a Norwich lad. Jacob Murphy, Norwich Ipswich is a huge East Anglia rivalry. He'll want to score against Ipswich so much. He's been flying of late. He will start this football match. People worry about Gordon coming back. That affects Barnes more than Murphy. I prefer Barnes over Gordon but I prefer Murphy over Barnes. And if we're looking at early subs, I think it'll be Barnes that comes off early. I don't think it'll be Murphy. So Murphy versus Ipswich for me is an absolute shoo-in. And at the end of this draft, I'll go through the ones that are absolutely locked. Because of course, I could change my mind on a few players between now and Saturday. Livramento as well, like Trippier if you're on free hit maybe. But for me and the budget I've got, Livramento works for this team. Open play goal threat for Livramento, more so than Trippier. Trippier comes with the creativity for the set pieces, of course. So that's where I'm at with triple Newcastle. But this is where it gets fun. Like the triple Wolves, Newcastle, City, probably quite predictable. But now when we put in the different missing pieces, that's where I think this team, hopefully, comes a little bit different and a little bit more fun. So let's start to join those pieces. And guys, thank you for hitting the like button, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. It means a lot that you're still subscribing to my content late in the season. Hit the notification bell when you do, and that final wildcard team will be out on a live probably on Friday night, so come by and watch that. Okay, so goalkeepers, guys, this was a big decision to make, and I'm still not set on my keepers, I'm not gonna lie. At the moment, I'm going for 2 players that could double in 36. Now when we go back to that Ben Crellin fixture ticker, Aston Villa 59% likely to double, he thinks, so should double, right? So Emi Martinez an option. And then Bournemouth, 43% likely to double. I think it's slightly higher than that because I think Man City is a shoo-in that they win. So Kepa is an option. Kepa's an option because Man United's a good fixture for him as an entry point. So I'm tempted here on Kepa and Martinez. Now this could leave me short in 37. If both teams double in 36, I'm happy because I'm bench boosting. I get 4 goalkeeper performances. It does mean I need to use a transfer on a goalkeeper in 37. Well, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I can either go without a keeper that week, or I should have hopefully won big by having 4 goalkeeper performances on the 36. So I think I'm willing to make that gamble. I also like the rotation between Kepa and between Martinez. And I've done this short chart here. We can see I'd have Man United for Kepa, 35 Martinez as Fulham. And remember, we just said about Newcastle. Aston Villa, so much to play for. They want Champions League football, and I fancy them. I fancy Newcastle and Villa to get it. So Fulham for Martinez I like for a clean sheet. Then I get hopefully doubles in 36 and 37 for both. It means I might not get a 37. In 36 doubles, might not get 37, but in 38 I then get Leicester for Kepa. It's a good matchup. I'm not 100% sure on goalkeepers though, as I said, and when we see my video on Friday, there could be a tweak. You could go Matt Sells and Emi Martinez, then you're guaranteeing a player in 37, for example, but that's a little bit more money that I might not have. And we should talk about money. This draft that we're seeing right now, we should put this up on screen actually, 1.7 million in the bank, okay? So the draft you're about to see, let's just lock in, it will be 1.7 million left, and that money there is left for Rodgers, from Murphy to Rodgers, maybe in 35, 36, or even Rashford if I want to. Rashford is a lot more expensive than Rodgers, of course. Okay, let's move on. We've got so many more blanks still to fill. And guys, if you're not already on OneFootball, get on the OneFootball app. Honestly, it is my go-to resource for football, and it's free. It takes seconds to download. There's a QR code on screen. There's a link in the description. Honestly, it's the best football resource for Premier League, Champions League. I use it for Serie A. Video clips of all the games, stats, flash scores, all of that. OneFootball is the place to be. Link in the comments and in the description as well. So, we've done goalkeepers. Do we need to talk about Mo Salah? All I'd say is with Liverpool, if you're on free hit especially, you might want to consider more than Mo Salah. If I was on free hit, I'd have 2 Liverpool, maybe even 3. On Wildcard, it's just 1 because they'll be in party mode. Season will be over, but they will probably win the title at Anfield against Spurs. That's reason to back more than just Mo Salah, and for that reason, well, we'll talk about captaincy later, shall we? Now, talisman. Look at this tweet, by the way, from FPL. Brian Mbeumo, 210 points, that's madness. Mo Salah's had seasons where he's clocked these sorts of returns, 18 goals, 7 assists. This is Mbeumo with still a handful of games left. He's absolutely flying. He's the second best point scorer in FPL this season. And by the way, his teammate Vissa's doing all sorts of good things as well. Big chance Brentford score goals, and I definitely want Mbeumo in this team, possibly even Vissa as well. So let's fill in some more gaps. And Mbeumo is in, spoiler alert, and so is Jarrod Bowen. These are 2 talisman midfielders for their teams. They're on all the set pieces, they're on the penalties, they play every minute. They're often the most advanced man on the pitch, both down the right hand side for their teams. The difference between them is Mbeumo plays for a team that scores loads of goals and creates loads of big chances. Bowen doesn't. That is why Bowen isn't a lock on this team and Mbeumo is. And Mbeumo, the fixtures are lovely. We're all going to be buying, if you're not already, come 35, my thoughts are most teams that are free hitting this week will sell Saka next week because it's wedged between both Champions League games. I don't think you'll be worried about a start versus Bournemouth. I reckon a lot of people will be going Saka out and Mbeumo in game week 35. And remember, the fixtures for Brentford are really tasty. From 35, it's Man United at home. Then it's Ipswich, Fulham and Wolves. What a 4-game run. That's why I'm tempted on Johan Vissa as well in this team. But Jarrod Bowen is also in. Again, fixtures to target for Bowen. Brighton as an entry point is fine, but then it's Tottenham, Man United, and he's got Ipswich and Forest too. Both Tottenham and Man United are defences we want to target. They've got European involvement. Jarrod Bowen could have fun in these games. And then, of course, Ipswich on the final day. So I think Jarrod Bowen is going to be in. And Mbeumo I'm so hot on as well. Vissa is a guy that's I really like. I just don't know how I stretch to Vissa because I've got, obviously, Marmoush in there. I don't want to sell him. Strand Larsen has the fixture versus Leicester, although he could go. And Isak's not going anywhere. It could be Strand Larsen out for Vissa in. That's one I've got to weigh up. Okay, one position left, but stay tuned because I'm going to show you who the locked players are. I'm going to show you a free hit team, and we have to talk captaincy this game week. It's a big talking point. The last player on this team is Sessegnon. So cheap, playing in the front 3. He's a big risk though. He's a big minutes risk because there's a lot of strength in depth there at Fulham for the wide forward spots, but he is currently starting as the right-sided forward. Yes, listed as a defender, right-sided forward, Ryan Sessegnon. He's getting early subs, but he's also getting goals and assists. I like Sessegnon as a bit of a punt. It is punty. Does he get the run in? I hope he keeps scoring and playing well, and he does. If he has a bad game or two, he could be dropped and Harry Wilson or Adama comes in. Fingers crossed he gets a start. I think I'm going to back Sessegnon, but of course, it's risky. Okay, so Sessegnon is in. How does this team look moving forward? And this is so important with Wildcard. You've got to think who your doublers are, who your blankers are, who your bench is, and where you're bench boosting. So for me, game week 35 sees me bench all my Wolves players. and Kepa. This is a strong 11. I could make a transfer of, say, Murphy out to Rashford. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? There's 1.7 million in the bank to play around with. Not 1.5 on screen, that's right. It's actually 1.7 it would be. So, fine. That's part of the benefit of picking like a Strand Larsen. I don't have the benching headache. If I went for Johan Visser in this slot, I'd be like, who do I bench? Maybe even Johan Visser, right? So, Strand Larsen in, benching the Wolves players. 36 is where it gets interesting, because this is where I want a bench boost. And straight away, I go, yes, I got the playing goalkeepers, hopefully on doubles. I'll have 2 free transfers to bring in another doubler, maybe another 2 doublers, probably another 1, because if they double in 36, they blank in 37. I've got to navigate 37 as well. But the bench, it's not a bad bench boost there. 3 Wolves players, sure, it's not optimal, but it's a good home fixture. Brighton are a team we can attack. I fancy some points. It's not going to be a 25-point bench boost, but most that have been bench boosting in the last week or 2 have had 7, 8, 9, 10 points. I reckon this could get 10 points plus. So I'm fairly happy with that. So that's where I'm at with where I'm moving forward. The locks in this team, well, we've got to go through the locks, haven't we? When I look at the locks, I think, let me go through them straight away. Locks in this team. Livramento, Aït-Nouri, Semedo. Mbeumo, Jacob Murphy, Mo Salah, Isak. 3 Man City players and Martinez. 11 of the 15 a lot. 11 of the 15. So Kepa's not. Sessegnon's not. Bowen's not, but I think he'll be in. And Strand Larsen. So they're the 4. Kepa, Sessegnon, Bowen, Strand Larsen. Another 4 places I think are still up for grabs. And I've got 1.7 million in the bank if I need to spend a bit more money. Players like Visser are firmly on my mind. Kirkez is on my mind too, and if I did that I wouldn't have Kepa. So let's see. So that's enough on my team. Let's talk about captaincy, which is my team and everyone else's. 50% of you are captaining Mo Salah, 40% are on Isak. Guys, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not going to go, I'm unsure. A lot of the time I am, and I say I'm 60-40 going X. Not today. I'm going Mo Salah captain. I'm building into the narrative of Liverpool winning the league against Spurs at Anfield, and I think Salah steps up for that game. It'll be party mode. I'm not so sure on Liverpool moving forward for the rest of the season once the title's won. That's why on my wildcard I'm lighter on them. But Mo Salah for me, Isak's still a very, very good option. Of course he is, and I expect Isak still to get points against Ipswich. Guys, I've been teasing you from the free hit team for a while. There are some players that I don't think that will be in a lot of free hit teams that won't be in my wildcard team. I tweeted this the other day. Trent, Trippier, both will be very popular at the back. Palmer and Kluivert will be popular. They take penalties. They're good, fine. Palmer's been terrible of late, but a lot will go there because they've got money to spend. Don't love it. Cunha, Jimenez, Welbeck, all very good picks up front. Don't think I'll have them in my team. But a lot of them are in my free hit draft. And if you are free hitting this week and you want to see my draft, I've done a whole video about it. Link after this video. Go watch that video. 15 minutes on free hit. But this is what I'd do. Something along the lines of Sanchez, Livra, Sessegnon, Aït-Nouri. So similar backline to my wildcard. Midfield, I've got Salah and Mbeumo in my wildcard and Jacob Murphy, but no Kluivert or Luis Diaz. And then Isak, Cunha up top. It'd be Cunha over Strand. And then on the bench, I like Virgil, Semedo, Raul Jimenez, Leno. They're all good options. But I think that's where I'll be at on free hit too. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Please do comment. And I'll see you for a live on Friday where I reveal my locked wildcard team. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.